To continue with the articulation portion of the handout. Articulation is used to define notes within a musical phrase. Much like the tongue, jaw, and lips are used to formulate consonants and vowels in speech, articulation is used to describe a musical thought. Wind players use the tongue, like string players use the bow, to achieve different types of articulations. Generally, when articulating, the tip of the tongue touches close to where the gum and the teeth line meet, or maybe slightly behind the gum line. Say to, or for a more legato articulation, do. The tongue shouldn't disturb the embouchure, and I love this quote, tongue like a ventriloquist without moving the lips. And this somewhat requires that idea again about the embouchure and the top lip being the stabilizer. The top lip really helps to, again, keep that airstream constant when articulating quickly or at a loud dynamic level. Also another technique that you might see a lot with students to try to make sure that you're not chewing the notes. Here's another Kincaid quote, never nibble the articulations with the jaw or lips. A lot of beginning students sometimes use what I call a poo or a lip attack to articulate. So you see a lot of that. You'll hear a lot of the distortion because of a lack of control of the lips, a diffused sound, and its movement. Its movement is pretty, involved, and so there's not a lot of clean attack or precise attack going on. Chewing also involves motion of the chin, and this is what I'll see sometimes as well. It's funny, I'm exaggerating the motion, but you can also hear how the pitch changes. So the chin comes down and then back up. So I usually try to tell the students to just bring the chin down and keep it down, keep it a little on the firm side, and then do the articulation, set it from there. The airstream should not build up too much behind the tongue or that the tongue stops the tone. So tut, toot, 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 where the tongue directly comes right back to the tonguing or the release of the airstream. And definitely not a buildup of that airstream, otherwise you will get a very explosive articulation. Watch for what I call anchor tonguing or even articulating from the throat. Anchor tonguing is oftentimes when a student will get their tongue in front of their teeth and actually tongue behind their bottom lip. Usually it's the bottom lip. I can't demonstrate this very well, but if you see predominantly a lot of lip motion of any kind, and in a lack of real, precise clarity in the articulation, check to make sure that they really are tonguing behind the teeth. The articulation from the throat is also another one to kind of, it's tricky to figure out what the student is doing. But basically, it's the vocal folds, the vertical vocal folds that open and close, and it's like the coughing mechanism. They will articulate from back there. I don't know if you can hear that on the video or not, but you can hear some of the sympathetic noise of the throat in the back. Double tongue or compound tonguing, as we call it, saying tu ku tu ku tu ku tu, or do gu do gu do gu do, again for a more legato. And in some cases, I find with beginning double tonguers, the do gu do gu do gu do is a little more liquid and smooth, and so easier for the student to connect with. Tu ku tu ku tu ku tu is a little bit overly articulate for some people, so just feels a little bit more awkward and difficult to control with evenness. When running articulated 16th notes occur and the average tempo is quarter note equals 116 or higher, that is the tempo that I recommend when the double tonguing needs to kick in. Make sure that the back tongue matches the strength and length of the foretongue. Practice reversing the syllables to improve. So ku tu ku or gu du gu du gu du gu du gu. And triple tonguing, this is how I learned to triple tongue from my last flute teacher when I was working my graduate studies. That we basically keep the double tongue tucka 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 tucka, or dooga 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 dooga. That's in double time. And when you want a triple tongue, you keep that same dugga 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 alternation of tucka tucka or dugga dugga, but you just superimpose the triple sense about it. So dooga 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 dooga. So it's showing every other beat shows the k, or what some people would say the weaker syllable in that alternation. But I like to look at it as it's helping to strengthen the k syllable if you triple tongue that way. But we all have different philosophies about triple tonguing on our various instruments. Flutter tongue, a contemporary technique using rolling of the tongue or gargling at the back of the throat. So the rolling of the R, brrr, R, that produces a flutter tongue that is very clean and very articulate, nice to control. But some of us are not comfortable doing that, and actually, I don't know, some of us can't roll our R's and some of us can, so it's maybe a genetic thing, I don't know. But flutists will result to using the gargle in the back of the throat. And I'm not very refined at this because I don't use it very much, but it works. Tongueless attack, very soft attack controlled by the lips. I just mentioned the poo attack, and this is also called the tongueless attack. It's a very nice attack. Sometimes it's a little delayed, but it's really nice for soft dynamic level. Note endings or tapers. This is always kind of a, out there, not easy to describe kind of, experience, tapering. And basically what I like to say to my students is basically you're controlling the lips and you're keeping also the work in your intercostal muscles as you taper. The intercostal muscles will bring the strength to the lips. And the best way to do this is to practice long tones, crescendos to perfect this taper or articulation. So I think about coming forward with the lips, maybe even more as I am thinking about making that embouchure hole softer, 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 softer. And when you come forward and into the embouchure hole, you maintain that core sound through the taper. Thank you.